Here is the response, everybody. Dear Ms. Wiley and Ms. Davis, I'm writing to respond to your emails from earlier today. I was stunned to see that the Judiciary Committee noticed Judge Kavanaugh's vote for Monday morning. In the midst of our ongoing discussions regarding the terms and conditions under which Dr. Christine Blasey Ford could testify before the committee. Incredibly, you did so well before the 10 p.m. deadline. You had arbitrarily imposed just hours before. The imposition of aggressive and artificial deadlines regarding the date and conditions of any hearing has created tremendous and unwarranted anxiety and stress on Dr. Ford. Your cavalier treatment of a sexual assault survivor who has been doing her best to cooperate with the committee is completely inappropriate. Yesterday, we had what I thought was a productive dialogue about the conditions Dr. Ford would find acceptable to be able to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee about her allegations of sexual assault involving Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Rather than continuing that dialogue, Senator Grassley today conveyed a counterproposal through the media insisting she appear for a hearing on a date I had expressly told you was not feasible for her. Hours after those media accounts first appeared, you sent me a response to the proposals that we had conveyed in good faith yesterday. You rejected a number of the proposals that are important to Dr. Ford to ensure that the process would be a fair one, including subpoenaing Mark Judge to testify. Instead, you spent much of your email making points that distorted the requests we had made and the sequence of events. It would be fruitless to review each of those misstatements, as it is now abundantly clear that regardless of the assurances Senator Grassley has made, you have been tasked with pressuring Dr. Ford to agree to conditions you find advantageous to the nominee, and also with denying Democratic members of the Senate Judiciary Committee any input about how this hearing would proceed. When I urged you to include them in our discussions, you rejected my request outright, accusing them of being source of leaks. Even more disturbing, while you took almost a day to consider our proposal, you demanded a 5 p.m. response to your proposal this evening. By email sent today at 4:01 p.m., I advised you that Dr. Ford had traveled to meet with the FBI for several hours about the death threats she had been receiving, and we would need until tomorrow to confer with her and to be able to provide you with a well-considered response. Rather than allowing her the time she needs to respond to the take-it-or-leave-it demand you conveyed, you sent us an email at 5:47, which you again gave to the media first, insisting that we accept your invitation for a Wednesday hearing by 10 p.m. tonight. I've now learned that Senator Grassley has scheduled the committee's vote for this Monday. The 10 p.m. deadline is arbitrary. Its sole purpose is to bully Dr. Ford and deprive her of the ability to make a considered decision that has life-altering implications for her and her family. She's already been forced out of her home and continues to be subjected to harassment, hate mail, and death threats. Our modest request is that she be given an additional day to make her decision. Sincerely, Deborah S. Katz. Let's bring back the panel. So that response is non-responsive. They're saying they want more time. Niger Innes, do you give them that time?
No, you don't. The fact is the lawyer for Dr. Ford has been playing a tune, and Senator Grassley and the Senate Judiciary Committee have been dancing to that tune. They've been very accommodating. They've basically stalled the potential vote for elevation for Supreme Court justice for several days. And at some point, you just have to say it's time for the Congress, and particularly the Senate, to do its constitutional duty and provide advice and consent to the President of the United States and vote.
Are you 100% sure, Niger, that Christine Ford is a political plant?
No, I am not 100% of that at all.
Are you 80%?
Believe that, as her friend, as her friend said, I think that Dr. Ford is a little bit of a victim in this process as well. I think she's being used as a political football.
Here's why I ask.
And I think it's interesting that Jennifer talked about 46 days before the election. She revealed what this is really all about. This is a political
No, it's you guys
match.
who've been the ones who've been rushing it. Do not say that about me. I am saying that take the time to do an investigation.
No, you did say 46 days, Jennifer.
Because that's what the Republicans have been rushing to do. They want to get this done before the election because they're afraid of a Democratic takeover in the House and the Senate. That's ridiculous. I'm saying it's what the Republicans are concerned about.
6 weeks that Dianne Feinstein sat on this letter and then dropped it right before a vote was about to take place.
Confidentiality. This is exactly why. This is exactly why women do not come forward. 7 out of 10 women who have been victims victims of assault do not come forward because of this bullying garbage.
Jennifer,
she asked
you presume that he is guilty without her actually even testifying? You presume that he is guilty?
Be slow.
That's absurd, Jennifer.
Hold on. Be slow.
Have an investigation.
Be slow. Because let's be honest, okay? Mitch McConnell said today, 100%, we're getting it done. The White House, 100%, we're behind him. Republicans, 100%, he's going to get confirmed. How the heck do they know when they haven't heard a word? So let's be slow to say who's presupposing what's true and what isn't true. The reason I ask you the question about how sure you are you're a political plant, because that letter I just read, unless the Republicans believe that they have good reason to believe she's a plant, what a lousy way to treat someone who could be a victim of a sexual assault. They are treating her like she's a lobbyist in this letter. This is how much time you get. We've been good enough. You're not getting an investigation. You're not getting any other witnesses. Think about when that would be okay to do to someone who is a potential victim of a sex crime.
I think what they have done, actually, I think it's quite different than that, Chris. I think that they have been extremely accommodating.
No witnesses.
And, you know, regardless of
no investigation.
No, they have not. Nothing.
Again, there has to be a presumption of innocence on the part of, you know, of course, we know that's the foundation of our judicial system.
Right, but we're not at trial. But even if it were, Niger, then how do you test the presumption of innocence? If you can't have any witnesses and you can't have any investigation, all you get is a he said, she said. One of them has to fold, basically, to know anything, right?
What you do is you do what the Senate committee is doing, which is providing her stopping the process, stopping a constitutional process for one of our branches of government, and giving the alleged victim, the potential victim, an opportunity to be heard. I think it's interesting that she wants, you know, that her lawyer or her team want the potential Supreme Court justice to speak before she does. And that's bizarre to me. She's the one making the accusation. There was going to be a scheduling. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
This is so outrageous to me. If you want to really get to the truth, then you have an investigation. Let him take a polygraph to prove that he's innocent. Let him invite some witnesses forward. Let the
Jennifer,
FBI
you know a polygraph is not
his background check.
We're not in court.
I'm not. It isn't a court proceeding. I'm saying she has done everything she can to demonstrate that her story is true within the power that she has. He has done nothing other than deny. So the Senate sets up this he said, she said. And now we learn tonight, listen, now we learn tonight that there has been this whole side effort to smear her character by this guy, Ed Whalen, who has been apparently affiliated with Judge Kavanaugh and says he's not coordinating, but what he's done is create this false story that she's mixed up and that she's obviously means some other person that he was tweeting about today. And we learned that he found out about her identification and her name before even the Washington Post story was out. So there's a whole lot of coordination going on to smear her name before she even gets to Washington, D.C.
The politics are embarrassing.
It's a smear campaign against her.
The timing on the Democratic side smells bad. I get the request for anonymity,
smells
but
awful.
It doesn't smell good. But what's going on here on the other
conspiracy.
side smells badly also. And here's the only reason I care. Ordinarily, I'd say, what else is new? This is how it is down there. We need some kind of change to the dynamic. However, this ain't normal politics because these types of situations have to be handled with care. Can the allegation be false? Yup. Can it be faked? Can it be made up? Yup. How do you know if you only hear from the he said and the she said in this situation? That's what I don't get, Niger. That's what I've never gotten from Judge Kavanaugh's perspective. God forbid I ever found myself in his position. I'd be saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. I want an FBI investigation. I want everything dug up. Investigate everybody. Talk to everyone she says is relevant because I had nothing to do with this. I wasn't there. I've never done anything like this in my life. Let it get all out there. I want no doubt. And your side is starving him of that.
I would say, God forbid that we create a new standard that an allegation that is nearly 4 decades old can stop a constitutional
What would we do with church scandal cases then? So those kids shouldn't come forward when they're abused?
No, you are absolutely free to come forward. And you're free, and obviously Senator Grassley is bent over backwards. The Senate Judiciary Committee is bent over backwards to accommodate Dr. Ford.
How have they bent over backwards?
But they never had an
investigation. They've delayed a constitutional process, and they have even considered
but they've given a bum
Dr.
rush
Ford's
to.
request, what I think is a little strange and unusual, that even though there is nothing on the record in terms of an accusation, there's no date, no time, no place
not
where
unusual,
this alleged
by the way,
assault
Niger,
took place.
I can't tell you how many cases I've investigated over the years that start off this way, Niger. Go ahead. Last word to you, Gov.
Just quick question to you, Niger. I mean, Susan Collins has said that if Kavanaugh's lying, that is a disqualifier. If you set up a he said, she said, and you've got no ability to verify one way or the other whether someone is lying, do you not think that the public is disadvantaged, that you're going to put somebody on the court who potentially is lying to the Senate, but without any investigation? Forget even the past stuff. How do you know whether he's lying or not unless you have an investigation? How do you know whether he's telling the truth unless you have an investigation? If this man, if it's disqualifying to lie and there's no means to test it, then I think the U.S., the judiciary is, I can't even find the words.
Well, answer the question.
And, well, I believe that this process, which has gotten a tremendous hearing in the media, and is based on a letter that was passed from Dr. Ford, who I believe collaborated with Stanford University professor or professors, and was given to a congresswoman, that was then given to Dianne Feinstein and then leaked by a staffer on this on the Democrat side.
You don't know who was.
I think
No,
that's what it's alleged, that it was a Democratic staffer that leaked this. And here is the question: at what point? I mean, let's say that they give her until Friday, and then she says, "No, I don't want to testify on Friday," and then Monday.
Well, she's
and
asking
then
for
Wednesday.
one more day.
At what point?
She's asking for one more day.
At what point do you draw
She's asking for one day. She's asking for one day. Hold her to that.
But then her lawyer will ask for more.
And she doesn't get it. You ask for one day, and then that's it.
I actually believe that this believed trauma that took place. By the way, I think, Jennifer, you and I might agree that Dr. Ford actually believes that something occurred some 35 years ago. Was it Kavanaugh? I absolutely don't believe that it was. I don't.
Well, you're not going to know after the testimony.
I take him at his word.
That's the problem. But we got to leave it there for time.
Let's get to the truth and testify.
Well, but you can't get to the truth if all you have is he said, she said. You know how many cases would never get made that way? You know, if you were at trial with all the benefits of that system. But we have to leave it there.